1.0.4, and this is episode 2 of RenaiCraft. Now, if you haven't seen last episode, I highly recommend you go and check it out because it is basically the beginning of the series and the premise of everything, and you'll understand more about why am I here in this version and what am I doing. But the others of you that have seen the first episode would probably ask yourself right now, why am I still on alpha version 1.0.4, which was basically the version that I played on last time. Now, the reason is because last time I thought that I could easily upgrade to the next version that I wanted to play on, but apparently the Minecraft launcher does not withhold within itself all the Minecraft versions that existed, which means trying to locate Minecraft version alpha 1.0.6 is not that easy, and I'm still trying to do so. And if anyone has a good solution for that, you can totally write it down in the comments. If not, I'm gonna try, and when I can actually get a copy of that version, I will go ahead and play on it, and if not, I'll just have to resort playing on the next available version on the launcher, which is not that bad. So I went ahead and flattened out a lot of this area, and that is because in today's episode, oh, there's no XP, I forgot about that. In today's episode, we're actually going to try and build ourselves a place to call home, an actual house. So I wanted it to be over here next to the ridge, next to the waters, and we're probably, when boats finally get added to the game, we're going to actually use them up to travel around here, and we're going to build stuff all over the place. But of course, the first thing you have to do is build a home. So, okay, so from the last recording, I've actually managed to make myself a pattern for the house. So this is basically the palette which I'm gonna use. And now what I was thinking about is, look, this is just where the floor is gonna be placed. We're gonna have a 2 thick wall, so it's gonna be really fancy. And yes, so what I'm thinking is that this is going to be like the main hall. This is a 9x9, so like 9x9, and this is going to be where it goes off into the chest and furnace room. I think this is going to be maybe just a chest room, I really don't know, we're gonna look this up. And this is going to be a 2-story house, so I know I'm thinking big, but this is going to be where the staircase is located at, which means it's going to spiral upwards to the next floor, and this is going to be the door. So for that instance, we're going to have to actually gather quite a lot of 2 materials. We're going to have to gather a lot of wool, and we're going to have to get a lot of wood. Now, both of them are not that easy to gather. I'm just going to have to walk around and actually get the things themselves, which seems like a reasonable thing to do would be a time lapse. So without further ado, let's have ourselves the first proper time lapse, and you are the first sheep to be harvested. Thank you very much. Okay, we're back from the time lapse. Now, I just want to clear one thing out. You might have seen me kill a fair bit of sheep throughout the time lapse, and you're probably asking me why, because all I wanted was the wool, and I just got the wool by punching them. Well, I don't know if in this current version of Minecraft there's something called mob cap. If you do not know what a mob cap is, it's basically the limited amount of mobs that can be in a certain area for a while. So they basically, the more mobs you have in a certain area, the less mobs that are gonna spawn in the future. So that's why I killed the sheep, so they would free up available space for other mobs to spawn, mainly other sheep. And if it doesn't exist, I'm sorry, I just butchered like a crap load of sheep. But with that being said, that is the amount of wool that we got, that is the amount of wood that we got, and I think that's kind of enough for what we need for now. So as I said, I want the walls to be made of wool, and I want them to be double layered, which means this is layer 1, this is layer 2. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually just gonna go ahead and round up this entire thing with wool, because this is going to be the base layer for the build itself. Luckily, wool does not take a century to destroy, which is great. So, okay, so this is going to be basically the inner walls of the house. This is what I'm going to see when I'm inside the house. It's going to have those white walls. Now, snow even is yet to be added to the game, so that means that we basically, this is the only, I think, white block that exists in the game as of now. Okay, so this is gonna be basically the amount of space that we're gonna have. I believe that to be quite enough. I think that seems fairly reasonable. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually gonna go ahead and try and configure out how the walls are going to be constructed. Of course, I'm going to make them out of wool, and when I have something that looks fairly good, I'm going to get back to you then. So the sun is just rising and everything looks fantastic, and another thing that looks fantastic is the base building. So I've taken ahead my time and actually built up the walls and even constructed a few places for which windows are going to go in. So this is going to be the door, obviously, and we walk inside, and this is going to be the front. So what we have in the front is this tiny window over here. I'm not sure if it's going to be used as a window or is this something else. We'll just have to see. Then we have this tiny window over here because it doesn't have a lot to view at. But then we have this gigantic window over here that has a lovely view at our lagoon. So I wanted us to have like this big open window in the front of the house just so we could see everything and what's going on. And this is going to be the chest room, and it's already, I can tell, it's going to be blocked by a lot of chests in all directions. So there's not really a lot of reason for windows in this room at all. Here there's an actual window that allows us to view in the other direction. It's a smaller window than this one, but it's still cool. There's this big window over here, but it's going to be blocked a bit by the staircase that's going to go up. So you wouldn't be able to see a lot, but it's a nice thing to have something to break up the pattern when you're going up and down the stairwell. And the last window on here is actually this window, which allows us to look at the sunset and the moon setting as well. And what we're going to do right now is, as I said, this is going to be a 2-layered house, which means we're going to work on layer number 2 of this house. And that is going to break up this very, very stale looking construction that we have so far into something more detailed and more nice to look at. So I'm just here working on actually trying to think of a good design, and I placed these stairs down and I suddenly realized like I found quite a quirky bug. If you place down this, look what happens to the stair. It literally turns into a wooden plank, and if I pick it up, you see I have 2 now. Now I have 3. It is picked up as a plank and not as a stair, which is really odd, because why would you do that? Like, that makes no sense. Now I'm going for the cobblestone look just because I'm really like, this is something that I was thinking that I would encounter in the series, but I basically have not a lot of other options when it comes to what I can really use. There's not a lot of building blocks in the game as of now that I really can think of and actually make good use of, and I totally placed those wool blocks in the wrong place. I'm really trying hard to think if there's anything that I want to make, because I really want to finish this house in this version, and only then will I actually move on to another version that allows me more variety of blocks and things such as that. So I guess that we're gonna have to live with cobblestone. I don't like it, but I'm gonna try and add things up to maybe spruce things up a bit, but we'll have to see about that. Okay, are you ready for this? 3, 2, 1. Huzzah! That is what we have. It is something. It is actual progress, actually. I'd call it progress. I know it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but I can assure you when we'll have a roof installed and maybe the second floor, it would look a lot nicer. I know cobblestone is just not the best block in the world, but in a version like this, you do not have a lot to work with, to be honest. I added these, well, technically they're cobblestone slabs because, well, you make them out of cobblestone, but they are what we like to call stone slabs of nowadays. So I've added them in the windows. I've added the rows of them here in the window because I don't know, I think it suits better place with staircase. One thing is you can only place them on the you can technically only place them on the bottom side of the block, and if I were to want to place one like on the upper side, it wouldn't let me. But what you can do is you can actually like try and place it over here, but it would place it on this one, and it only gives me back one slab. Wow. Okay, here's Minecraft for you. I don't know what about you guys, but I find this to be really hilarious. Look at those two sand, okay? Like two sand pillars. They're both like, they've just stopped midair. They're not falling. It's like something quirky of the world. But the thing that makes me enjoy this the most is the fact that it looks like a pause sign, which basically means they've paused in midair as a pause sign, and that is just amazing. I would really not like to update this in like any way, just because it's so amazing. This is actually really funny. I've never seen something like this happen. This can only happen in alpha. So yeah. Okay, so let's stop by and have a bit of trivia for you. So this is a stair. I know it looks very dirty, but this is indeed a wooden stair. Now, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna build a roof. In order for that, we have to know what the stair mechanics in this version are actually like. So, I'm gonna try and make a corner before the sun sets. So you gotta have a block in order for you to actually be able to place the stair like this in this direction, because all the stairs are basically gonna place themselves in this direction if you don't have a block. And destroying a stair does actually give you back a wooden plank, which means you basically lose wood whenever you have to destroy a stair. So I'd better not do that. Now, if you do not know, there is nothing such as actual connecting stairs on the sides, which means we are kind of limited. Now, what you'd normally do, you'd actually go ahead and place a wooden slab over here to make it look a bit more seamless, but it is not possible. So what I'm gonna try doing is place this slab. Now, as you see, this is actually a bit problematic now because this tries to connect over here. So I've really been trying to think of a way to solve this, and of course I do not have this needed thing. I really do not have that much of a solution, which leads me to think that we might be needing to make our roof out of solid blocks, which is a bad idea, but it's all that we have. And as I said, I want to finish this off in this episode, so we're gonna leave you over here and I'm gonna show you what I've done so far. So I've basically finished the entire building of the house itself, like the entire construction, but I still need to add the windows, of course, the inside and the roof. So we have this. Okay, so this is the first floor. You've seen it. This is gonna have a stairwell. I just did not build it quite yet. And yes, I do know that you can actually place like a ladder one at a time, but I wouldn't really need that. Second floor, it's a bit smaller. This is gonna go to the roof itself. We're gonna have a glass floor so we can look down, and we have this nice terrace, and I'm gonna actually try and get myself some glass to put inside of here, and hopefully this will look amazing. So I suppose what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna actually construct the roof. I know it's gonna look slightly odd because of the derpy stair mechanics in this version, but we might as well fix it up in the future when the update actually comes by. So that is exactly the premise of this series. That is what I was supposed to be facing, and that is what we will face. So hopefully this goes out nice. I really do hope, and we'll see in a bit. Oh my god, the amount of mobs. Okay, let's go down. I've actually yet to have looked at how the roof looks. Like, I haven't looked, haven't peeked. This is the first reveal for you and I. So, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. That looks great, I think. I'm really looking for like a better angle to look at it from, but as of now it looks really good actually. Like, yeah, despite it having like this very rigid shape because it's made out of full blocks, and that's something you'd never really do in any other version, but this kind of looks really good. I don't know about you, I really like it, and as like a Minecraft alpha house, I really think this is like over the top, like 2 stories high with a balcony and windows and God knows what, and with like the limited blocks that we have, I can definitely say this looks really really good. And yeah, so what I suppose I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna finish up these walls, add the glass, and then I think we're gonna have some private time with ourselves to actually decorate the house inside and move all of those things into the house and actually have this start functioning and ready for the next episode. So yeah, I'm gonna try and smelt a lot of sand now, get a lot of glass, and finish up a few bits and bobs over there, and hopefully in the next cut we're gonna have the finished house exterior. So I'll see you all in a second. Oh my god, guys. This is it. This is the exterior. This is what we have to work with. And this is quite a huge house. I actually underestimated the fact that I was actually making a large roof, which meant that I actually subsequently made a 3rd floor to this house. By mistake, really. If you go, like, this is the 2nd floor that I was talking about, but if I go up here, you can actually see that because the roof is so big, I've actually made myself a 3rd floor. So I suppose this is just more place to work with, and I'm really all up for that, you know. So, and there's this porch over here which really looks and complements the house from the inside, but from the outside I still have somewhat of a problem with it. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit quite right, and I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do, because I don't know, it looks too bulky in some fashion, I think. Yeah, that's what you get for having to work with only like solid blocks and without slabs. And I suppose that's the part of the inconvenience that we were supposed to see in this making of the house. So can I please pass through? Thank you. This is okay, so this is the back side of the house, also with the windows on the side, which are not blocked by the tree. I decided to not add a window over here just because I believe there's enough windows in the floors, so I shouldn't have one on top. Then we have this one on the side, which really looks kind of nice. We have this tiny window over here. I might as well maybe add like integrate like another one over here, but I don't really know. And of course there's trees to block our view. And this is like the last side, and because it was lacking a lot of windows, I actually decided to make like a huge one on top, which I think looks kind of nice. I believe that would be good. And yeah, so this is home. This is the first thing. This is actually a lot of progress, and as for like Minecraft Alpha, this is really impressive. Now, on my journeys of gathering a lot of materials, I've actually stumbled across these, which they're basically a rose and a dandelion. Now, if you're not familiar with the name rose, I'm really surprised, but they used to be called roses, and they looked like this, and before they were actually changed into another texture and were called poppies. So roses, I really do like them, and I think I'm gonna place one rose over here, another dandelion over here, and another rose over here to just give, you know, that bit more vibrance to the entrance of the house. Now I think this tree is gonna go away soon, and I'm gonna make like a good pathway that goes down to here, to the lake itself, to the lagoon. But for now on, it's gonna stay like this. Now, as I said, this is only the first part of today's episode, and I think this one is gonna actually go into 2 parts. Okay, you can totally go. This episode is gonna actually be divided into 2 parts. Into the exterior part, which we've already done and actually kind of finished right now. By the way, this is the glass floor. And to the interior part, in which we're going to try and work with our limited resources in order to try and make something that looks really, really nice and a lovable home to be living in. So, I suppose that rounds it up for today. It is not raining inside of the house apparently when I do this, so maybe I need like a clear sky above me for it to make that like raining animation. Let's see. Yeah, I suppose it does. I suppose only when you have like clear sky above you, then it makes the raining animation, which is really interesting. You know what? So, okay, so we can actually be in F5 mode in our own house and not have it looking like as if we have a leak. So that's really, really cool. But all of that is gonna be for next episode, or the next part of this episode. And afterwards, I think we're gonna upgrade to the next version and continue on playing on this RenaiCraft world. So, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I had a really good time making this, and I'm really proud of what we've managed to make so far. And yeah, so that's about it, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all, as always, in a little bit. Bye, guys.